Welcome. I bid you welcome, John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, coming to you from my music corner of the world. Welcome to another edition of album track ranking A through Z. We're getting close to the end of the alphabet, folks. Today's letter is brought to you by the letter W. And yeah, you guys are probably thinking, oh, he's going to just do a Wasp album. Fooled ya. Nope. Gonna do something a little different. No, I'm not even gonna do Warlord. Could have done that too. Could have even done Warlock. Those are three bands I really, really like. But I'm going to talk about another one that was huge in my CD player and cassette deck when I would make a copy of the CD to listen to in the car. And I'm going to talk about a band that was very well known in the Western Maryland, West Virginia, Baltimore area that they formed in 1978 with a couple of high school friends who got together. One of them would only last about a year, and then they would kind of go through a little round robin of musicians before they finally would settle on the lineup that would record their two albums. And these guys were just absolute legends in the Baltimore, Western Maryland, and the club circuit because it was like one of those bands where um if they paid you to play, no matter how dumpy of a place it looked, you played because they wanted to pay their dues and they wanted to just get better and stronger and tighter as a band. And trust me, after almost 10 years of doing that, they finally get a major label secured deal only to be found with some controversy. If you guys haven't figured out yet who I am talking about Wrathchild America with the album Climbin The Walls. Released in 1989. However, this album was already done in 1988. Problem was, well, there was this little band called Wrathchild across the pond in England. They were more of kind of a glam metal look to them. And when they got wind about Wrathchild America, better known as just Wrathchild, then they were like, hey, wait a minute, we had the name first, and they caused a big ruckus, and they basically put, there was a lawsuit, which then Atlantic Records, who had signed them, said, well, we better hold off until all this is straightened out. So, the album's done in 1988, but they had to wait till about August of 22nd, 1989 before it could finally be released. So, uh, this was produced by Mark Durnley and the band, also engineered by Mark. Um, it was recorded in Los Angeles at Amigo Studios. Um, so who we got in the band? So we've got the band was originally formed by Jay Abeen and actually I've got that wrong. Terry Carter and Shannon Larkin and Kevin Keller. Terry Carter was is a guitar player. Shannon Larkin, of course, the amazing drummer, who would eventually go on to play for Ugly Kid Joe for a spell, and then he would end up in Godsmack, to which he recently just stepped back from. Just an amazing powerhouse drummer. The band would round out with Jay Bean on guitar and Brad Divins, who was in the band Kicks, also legends in the Maryland, West Virginia, Western Maryland area for a while. He was on the band Kicks, and he was on their second album on guitar, um, called Cool Kids. Now, Brad Divins plays drums and is the vocals, or bass player and vocals, excuse me. And of course, the guitar duo of Jay and Terry, a great duo, by the way. Underappreciated duo. And like I said, Shannon Larkin's just an amazing drummer. Good God Almighty. And this album shows it. There's so many different kind of styles mixed together. You get a little bit of kind of a blues feel. You get a little bit of maybe touch of reggae. You get some thrash. You get some prog. You get some all kinds of different things all thrown together, and they just come out and they just are swinging for the fences. And boy, this album just really just rocks. Sadly though, this album, because it was delayed really it never got to do anything on the charts. I think it got as far as 190 on the Billboard charts. They would wind up on some tours, um, but they just, they would do another album under the Wrathchild American name called In 3D, which unfortunately didn't even chart on the 200 at all. But by this point, you get a lot of musical changes, blah, 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 blah. We know the story. So let's get into this album and see what, to me, this is just, man, this is just such a powerhouse album. Again, you can't rank these songs because they're all again, they're all really good. So I hate to keep sounding like a broken record with that. So, but if I had to pick something that would go on the bottom, as good as the version is, I'd probably have to say their version of Pink Floyd's Time. And they really do a wonderful, wonderful version of this. But that goes to show just how great the rest of this album is. Again, we're talking about eye hair. Okay, that's how, or even teeth hair. That's how much these are. That's how good this album is. Um, so the number eight track for me on this is going to be the album closer called "Day of the Thunder," kind of a charge into battle kind of song. Great track. Um, Here again, man, you could just throw all these songs up in the air and how they land. Well, that's how it's going to be. Seven's going to be just a straight ahead thrasher. Hell's Gates. Great track. You get a good, nice different time changes. You get some great soloing from Terry and Jay going on here. Again, great drumming again from Shannon. Um, Side number six is going to be the side two opener. It's called Candy from a Madman. Here again, you get um, a lot of different time changes, a lot of good feels, a lot of just very creepy in the lyrics. Don't take candy from a madman. This is like a song about, teach your kids to be on the lookout, watch, watch your mother's hands, not your eyes, that kind of thing. And stuff like that. I mean, this is a really strong, great track. Um, really just a great way to start the side off. Number five is going to be the track side A closer, London After Midnight. This is a Dracula song. Again, you have a lot of time changes, a lot of different moods, a lot of different atmospheres. Just another great, powerful vocal here by Brad. I love his vocal on this song. I mean, I love it on all of this album. It's more than just a thrash album. He just showed he's got his lungs really could sing, and he does a great job with this one. Number four, number four is kind of the comedy song. I guess you could look at it on this album, depending on how you look at it. It's a song called "No Deposit, No Return." Just look up the lyrics, folks. You'll get the idea. Uh, Great track. Um, Number three, this one is man, this is kind of a tie for two because these are both so good. Um, the track is called "Silent Darkness, Smothered Life." Man, you want to talk about claustrophobic feeling? This song has it. Again, Brad's vocal delivery, the way the music comes along, there's feelings and emotions and atmospheres again in this song where you really do. The song is about being buried alive, basically as a prank being pulled on somebody, and it's just again this song just makes you kind of feel claustrophobic, but this is just like such a great deep track on this album, and man, awesome tune. Next one is going to be the instrumental called Hernia. And I'll tell you what, you're going to have one by the time this song is done because this one just comes in and just punches you in the face and just does not let up. This is just a banger of an instrumental. Shannon's just going nuts behind the kit. Fast thrashing. Again, you have some different feels. You get some slower melodic passages, but you get a nice little kind of a bluesy kind of feel almost. But there's just so many twists and turns. Great track. Obviously, the title track is going to be the top one for me. This is a great way of introducing the band. They just come right again, all guns blazing, and it's just a great song. Really about really kind of being on the road and trying to make it in the club scene, and really just, you're just trying to make your ends meet, and there's a lot of truth, a lot of the stuff in this song. Absolute great album. It's just a shame that these guys just never got the recognition they deserved. Brad Divins would go on to play. He would actually go on to be a front of house engineer, sound engineer, uh, for numerous different people over the years. He's become very well known in that business. Terry and Jay both are still playing guitar in different venues and styles. As I said, Shannon Larkin just stepped down from the Godsmack throne behind the kit for the band that he'd been doing that for, gosh, good 25, almost 30, 25 plus years at least. So what do you guys think about Wrathchild America? Are you even familiar with this album? If not, you got to go look for it. It's great. It's an awesome one. So hit me up about it. Like, share, subscribe. You know all the lingo. We only got three more letters, X, Y, and Z. That's all we got left, folks. And then this series will come to a close, and we will talk to you soon. John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, saying rock forever, y'all. We'll see you soon.